What's up, guys? This is Mike from Cars, Guitars, and the Great Outdoors. Hope everybody's enjoying this beautiful day today. Today we're gonna do an oil change on a 1999 C5 Chevrolet Corvette. Pretty fun car. Plenty of power, stock. Definitely do whatever you want it to do on the streets and on the track. This one's pretty clean. It has 60,000 miles and about 60,700, somewhere around there. It's a 6-speed manual. Pretty fun car, pretty clean for the age. Interior is not too bad. I'll give you a look. Usually you see these seats all tore up. This one's not too bad, honestly. Pretty clean car for being a 99. You can see nothing's been done to the inside. It's all stock the way it was. Gonna do an oil change. I don't trust anybody. You know, the guy I bought it from says the oil is fairly new, but I change oil on everything I buy as soon as I get it. Did the same thing with the old Mercedes. So I'm going to show you guys what you're going to need to do and the tools you're going to need, okay? So the first thing that I did, I had to roll the car up on these ramps. I just had some ramps that I use for my four-wheeler. I just put those on the ground and I drove up onto them to give me the couple extra inches of clearance. If you have a really low profile jack, you might get away with it, but if you don't, you're definitely gonna need to get it up on something here. So I had to get it rolled up on these, and then after I got it up there, I was able to get my jack under it. I'll show you where you can jack it up. So right up under here, you can see where my jack stands are. This first bar right here, you can jack it up right here in the center. There's a little brace right here. I would definitely put like a piece of wood or block or something up there just to kind of protect it so it doesn't break it, unless your jack has a rubber pad like mine does. So I jacked it up here in the center. I got it all the way up to where I could get up under here with a creeper. Put my jack stands here. Obviously use good jack stands. Mine lock. Once you get it jacked up there, you can get it jacked up in the rear. I'll go back there and show you. I don't have jack stands, excuse me, I don't have 4 jack stands, so I do just have my jack resting under it. I got my fail safe right here, 2 tires on each side, so if the car does fall, it will stop before crushing and killing me. So right there on the back, right in front of the sway bar, right here in front of the sway bar, there's another part just like in the front where you can jack it up from. And you want to bring both ends off the ground, specifically because the oil drain is on the front side. I'll get under here and show you. I've already got the oil draining. So your oil plug is right there. It's kind of in an inconvenient spot, but just a 15 millimeter wrench. I just used a box wrench and got it right out, let it drain, and then your filter's right here. I've got this loosened up already. It's kind of a pain. You can obviously use one of the tools. This is a smaller filter, so if you have one of those oil filter loosening tools, whatever you want to use on it, you'll be able to get it off, no problem. Mine wasn't too tight, thankfully. I've definitely struggled with some cars to get these off before, so I was pretty fortunate not to have to struggle too much with this. So yeah, I got it draining, dripping, and again, that's why you want the rear of the car to be lifted off the ground as well, because the oil drain is on the front side of the car. So if the back is down, you're not going to get all the oil out. Obviously, warming up your engine first will definitely give you an advantage as far as how fast the oil flows out. It's just better to warm up the engine before you do any oil change on any car. So, all right, I'm going to get this plug put back in, and I'm going to move on to the oil filter. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so I'm ready to prep my oil filter here. I use full synthetic Mobil 1 5W30. That's actually the recommendation on the oil fill cap for these. 99, that's what they used, Mobil 1. I always use Mobil 1 in all my vehicles. I just always used it and always will, so never had a problem with it. The oil filter is going to be an M1107A Mobil 1 oil filter. So what we're going to do is we're going to pre-fill the oil filter. You're probably wondering, hey, you got so much oil. Well, I got 2 jugs because they were on sale for $24 each. Thank you, Walmart. And I also got, oh, it must be in the car. I also got the good stuff, the Lucas Oil Stabilizer. I always put this in all my vehicles. If you don't know what this is, I'm pretty sure most of you will, considering most of you watching this are car guys. And if you're not and you're a beginner, well, hey, this is perfect learning. So this is the Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. It's really good stuff. It's very thick. It's almost like a really, really thick oil, but basically what it does, the number one thing you can see, it eliminates dry starts. And obviously dry starts cause a lot of wear in engines, especially if you have, an engine that isn't ran very often. I run the hell out of all my cars, so I use it anyway. It gives you an extra layer of protection and keep you running right. So usually I would use, this is 1 quart, I would use one of these in place of 1 quart of oil. It's good stuff. I've always used it. But moving on, we're going to pre-fill the oil filter. I always pre-fill the oil filters. Just kind of helps your engine get lubricated faster once you get the oil change done, and kind of helps circulate oil faster. So yeah, I'm gonna fill this. I'm gonna fill this up, and then I'm gonna put a little bit on this seal here. That way it doesn't get stuck after being on there for so long. Once I get this filled, I'll get back with you. All right, so you can see that the oil filter is full. We're gonna come under here now. We're just gonna double check that this is all clean. We've got the oil fill plug back in. I believe the torque spec for that is, I think it's like 20 foot-pounds, I think. It's either 20 to 26, something like that. I don't remember. You can obviously look it up and find out for yourself. I just give her the old good and tight and call it good. Never had issues. But you can see up under here, you can see the lip where the rubber gasket is gonna seal up against. Sometimes cheaper filters, that gasket will stick to that, especially if they weren't lubricated, and then they will come off of that oil filter and they'll stay on there. And then sometimes people will put their new filter on, and then boom, now they have a double gasket. They start the car up, all of a sudden they pull out and they see they have a huge puddle of oil and most likely did some wear and tear on their engine. So when you're under here, just make sure that's cleaned off. Make sure that that rubber gasket didn't stay on there. Clean it off. Again, lube the rubber seal around your oil filter. So this rubber piece right here, make sure that's lubed up, and then you'll have no issues. And then when you go to put it on, see if I can do this one-handed. You don't want to cross-thread it, because if you do that, you'll be in trouble. If it spins freely on there like that, you're good to go. So I just seated it, okay? So I seated it. That way it's on there. And then you only want to do like a quarter to a half turn with your hand after that. And that's good enough. Trust me, it is good enough. If you go any farther, next time you do this, you're gonna be mad, because it's gonna be a big pain to get off. Next time I get under here to do this, should have no issues getting this right off. All right, guys, next thing I'm gonna do. So let's recap. We've got the old oil drained. We've got the filter taken off. We've cleaned the surface where the gasket for the filter mates up to the block. We pre-filled the oil filter. We lubricated the new gasket on the new oil filter. We installed the new oil filter without over tightening. We reinstalled the 15 millimeter oil plug and gave her the good old elbow torque. So I think we're ready to fill up, and I'm going to start with this oil stabilizer. Again, just so you can see how thick this is. It just looks like honey. It's so thick. So you can imagine it's doing good stuff for your motor. So I'm just going to put this in upside down, let it drain. Probably poke a hole in the top of this to let it come out faster. I usually let this sit here for a good 10 minutes, let it get all of it out of there, because it's so sticky that a lot of it stays in the bottle. Just leave it upside down for a little bit and let it do its thing, and then we'll come back and top off with oil. All right, see you soon. All right, guys, I let the Lucas Oil Stabilizer drain in there, and I went and ate some food. Got a drink, came back. It's empty, and now we're ready to fill it the rest of the way up with our Mobil 1 full synthetic. This engine is an LS1 5.7 liter. So it holds, I think it's like 6.4, 6.5 quarts of oil total. That's with the oil filter. So we pre-filled the oil filter, and we put 1 quart of our Lucas Oil Stabilizer. And so now we're going to add the rest of this 5-quart jug right into the engine. And then we will check where we're at on the dipstick and fill it up some more if we need to. All right, I'll be right back, and then we'll check that dipstick. All right, we are ready to check the dipstick. So you can see those crosshatch, see the word add. So we want to be about, I would say 50%, 50 to 75% from the bottom up. Leave a little bit of room for expansion. Oil does expand when it gets hot, so let's go ahead and dip it in and see what we're at. All right, we're gonna dip again because I didn't get an accurate reading. Let it sit for a second. All right, it's probably really hard to tell on your end, but we're about, I would say, about right there. I'm gonna get the car lowered, and I'm gonna run the engine for just a second here, and then we're gonna recheck and see where we're at. Okay, I'll get back with you. All right, guys, I got the car lowered, got the tires put back on. I rechecked the oil after lowering it. It looks to be in the right spot, but we're going to start the engine and just let the oil circulate for a second or two, and then shut it off. So we did 1 quart. We did 1 quart of the Lucas Oil Stabilizer, and then the rest of what didn't fit in the filter of that 5 quarts that I bought. So I would say right now there's about 6 quarts total. The engine holds 6.4, at least that's what it says online. So let's start the car and let it circulate for a minute. Being 0.4 quarts under what it's recommended is not going to hurt your engine. But let's get it started and let it run for a couple seconds, and then we'll shut it back down and let it rest, let the oil run back down, then we'll check it. See the oil pressure building, that's good. Sounds good. Just gonna let it run for a minute here. Watching the oil pressure, looks good. shut it down. Let's go. Let's go check that oil again. I'll be right back. All right, guys, after rechecking, it was just a little bit low, about that 0.4 quarts. So I just topped it off and everything looks good. Levels are good. I'm gonna go take it for a ride and enjoy the rest of this day. I hope this video helped some of you guys out. If it did, please subscribe to the channel, help me get it built, and we'll have more content like this to come. I was gonna say, if you like foreign stuff, I've got this low model Mercedes. Do some stuff on this. And then I also have this Harley Dyno over here. I do a lot of stuff on. So got a bunch of vehicles in the fleet here, so a lot of content to come. Appreciate anybody that watched. Again, if this helped you, definitely like and subscribe. Hit that bell, get notifications when I post another video. Really be helping me out. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.